I'm just the chill guy that likes to short MSTR. That's all I am, right? I talked about it this weekend. I talked about it all of last week. I just wrapped up my live trading session. My LPP team gets to watch me trade live. And within today's live session that literally just happened a few minutes ago that you could have been a part of, I shorted MSTR. From the highs of the pre-market session to the lows, I made $7,000. I closed out my overall trade and we had so much fun doing it. It was so simple, right? There's no emotion behind it. There's no preference of, oh, this needs to happen. It's we identify a trade opportunity and we take action because, again, the price action makes sense. Direction was bearish. Bitcoin was selling off. And we all know that when Bitcoin sells off, MSTR sells off. There's so many ways that you can make money in this market. And again, it's just you have to keep it simple. We did our job in taking profits. I actually took profits pretty early. I could have made a lot more money. But again, I'm not perfect, right? I don't know how low a stock is going to go. So therefore, when I short a stock making money as it sells off, I need to be mindful of, hey, I need to take profits and not be greedy. Just like a lot of those MSTR bag holders that thought that this thing was going to continue to skyrocket to $600 per share. Oh, Ricky, but it's getting added to the Nasdaq 100. So did SMCI. SMCI got added to the Nasdaq 100 in July of 2024. And guess what happened to SMCI? SMCI has lost about 88% of its value. Getting added to the Nasdaq 100 means nothing because SMCI now got removed just a few months later. Just like MSTR, you have to view it and understand it for what it is. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a short-lived company because all it does is buy Bitcoin. So as soon as Bitcoin, the underlying asset, begins to fade and the hype begins to fade, then so will MSTR. And it's so simple, right? You just have to not be super emotional. And you don't have to be afraid to only short it, right? I can go long on it. So if I get confirmation of a reversal and this thing begins to indicate signs of a recovery, I'll go long on it, right? Every trade that I take, I close it out within the day. My job is to find and identify intraday opportunities that actually make sense, not based off of hope, not what some idiot is telling me on Reddit that I need to be doing that's going to send me to the moon. It simply needs to make sense as an intraday play. Is price action in my favor? Is sentiment in my favor? Do the risk to reward ratios make sense? For all those that were telling you, and again, I made videos about this when MSTR was at highs of $500. People were telling me and calling me an idiot for making videos about how much risk MSTR had. My job is always to look out for beginners, just like I did with SMCI and just like I did with GameStop. This pump and dump is no different. It's a short-lived stock that, again, when I made people aware of the downside risk, they thought that I was just trying to instill fear. No, I'm just aware. I'm aware of how much a stock can lose, right? And because of that, I can't be afraid to talk about it. And if you're ever knocked down for talking about the downside risk, then you know that you are hitting them where it hurts. And ask them today, how much money are you down today? How much money are you down last week? And it's a tough pill for them to swallow because they know that they are wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. If Bitcoin begins to recover, then again, that can be a different story. But it is simply not looking good for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin breaks below 90,000, we'll go and start making new lows. And just like many MSTR traders are currently experiencing, they're going to get margin called. If you don't know what margin called is, look it up. I can reassure you that 50% of MSTR traders are getting margin called because they were overly leveraged at overbought levels, just like we've seen with many other bag holders. And it's one of the worst feelings because you enter a position very aggressive, very heavy at overbought levels. And when it begins to sell off, the platform that you're trading on that you borrowed money from is saying, hey, you now owe us some money because now you don't even have enough equity to cover that. So give us, X amount of money back. And that's where the selling pressure really begins to kick in, right? This is where the fun really begins. The other stock that I shorted today was SOUN, and I only made $2,300. I left myself with my one lucky share. And again, this one was all caught in my live trading session. I've told you once, and I'll say it again. I trade live every morning. I don't care if you don't like the way that I talk about MSTR. Your opinions or emotions about that don't matter. We're here to make money. If it's bearish or if it's bullish, you know that I'll always trade it on any side. I'll trade any stock as long as it makes sense and the reward outweighs the risk, right? It all just needs to make sense. When it begins to not make sense, then again, it just simply doesn't meet my criteria. So again, if you really want to make sure that you understand the trades that you are getting into, that you enter in a calculated way, I trade live every morning. It's the second link in the description down below, and you can join for $1 a day right now. Again, the sale is going to be going on until the end of the year, and then it's over and prices go right back up to $700. So if you want to join for $1 a day, second link in the description down below. You can join before the New Year's. And again, I'll see you tomorrow at Market Open for our live trading session. If you have any questions, comment down below, or if you're butthurt, feel free to give this video a thumbs down, because again, it's all you can do. I appreciate your time. Like always, Merry Christmas. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.